Scorpio, hello and welcome to your weekly reading for the week of September 1st through the 7th. So, big news ahead. We have your ruling planet moving into the sign of Capricorn in your third house of communication, short distance travel, empowering you to take leadership in these areas. You're going to feel empowered in ways that maybe you haven't been able to successfully feel and take actions based on what you really felt, Scorpio. And this is actually going to liberate you quite a bit, as well as those people who you're in communications with. Maybe you own a business that specializes in short distance travel or some form of transportation, and Pluto retrograding into Capricorn is going to free up the restraints that might have been placed on you, or maybe there were some barriers that you couldn't really work through with the internet specifically. If your building was listed online. I'm going to pull a Goddess Power Oracle card to start off this reading, and I would love to, oh wow, brown one, forgiveness. It feels like maybe just forgiving the situation is going to allow for you to move on, especially when we have this chorus of energy with Venus at 7 degrees Libra, your 12th house. The moon will definitely be at 7 degrees Libra in this time frame. Black moon Lilith at 7 degrees Libra, that's the me node, and the south node at 7 degrees Libra. So this forgiveness is something that's happening in your subconscious. Like, there's nothing really that you can affect with forgiveness in the outer world. It's an inside job, as well as all of the things that we do outside of ourselves, whether it's like to build empires or have 1,000 kids or to have the nicest cars, nicest clothes. None of that equates to self-love. Self-love and forgiveness are one and the same thing. When we are able to forgive ourselves and others for the trespasses that might have been made towards or against us, I'm going to read the translation of the Lord's Prayer from Armaic to English. It's like a direct translation. O cosmic brother of all radiance and vibration, soften the ground of our being and carve out a space within us where your presence can abide. Fill us with your creativity so that we may be empowered to bear the fruit of your mission. Let each of our actions bear fruit in accordance with our desire. Endow us with the wisdom to produce and share what each being needs to grow and flourish. Untie the tangled threads of destiny that bind us as we release others from the entanglement of past mistakes. That's the level of forgiveness that we're going for, Scorpio. Like, I know that the Lord's Prayer in English isn't nearly as wonderful or beautiful. I'll keep reading it. Do not let us be seduced by that which would divert us from our true purpose, but illuminate the opportunities of the present moment. For you are the ground and the fruitful vision, the birth, power, and fulfillment, as all is gathered and made whole once again, and so it is. How amazing. Like, this is actually taking the decrees that we learned from various people like High Priestess Sandra Walter, and or just really anyone who's speaking decrees. They speak to saying, and so it is, after whatever it is that you say. So, I really need a job, and so it is. Why would you need a job if you are in so much abundance that you attract opportunities to share your gifts that bring you joy? And I sense that there's a need to forgive consciously all of the transgressions or perceived shortcomings or perceived handicaps that you might have held yourself prisoner to, because with Pluto being in your 4th house, it was a clearing out the emotional foundation that was attracting and pulling in these things. I'm thinking of like oil pulling. You need to expel things from cavities, from like deep parts of yourself that are kind of like locked in to an enclosed space. And from there you can radiate so much more light, Scorpio. So Bronwyn, forgiveness. The alignment message, I'll read that one. Sometimes we unintentionally cause hurt or pain to others. Sometimes our motive is to hurt. Now is the time for self-inventory and making amends. Your alignment task is to be 100% accountable for your thoughts, feelings, beliefs, motives, and actions. You are not doing this, however, to experience forgiveness from someone else or even from yourself. It's time to have the strength and fortitude to be accountable and to take responsibility for your actions. In this way, neither guilt nor shame can take root in your heart. You stand empowered and humble with your head high no matter what the consequences. You will always be the beneficiary of such an act. The goddess Bronwyn says deep healing comes from this kind of courage and respect. I love that because it's taking the accountability for our actions and making amends within ourselves, not for any external validation, which is just another carrot dangling on a stick. So the angels want to volunteer for the 5 cards to help guide this reading. And we're starting out with the 6 of Earth and the 9 of Fire. Beautiful. Yeah, lots of abundance is coming your way, as well as prosperity, because you're able to receive the actions required for you to take steps into forgiveness, into alignment, into taking accountability and untying the tangled threads of destiny that might have bound you to people, places, and things that you were held prisoner to because you wouldn't forgive. Maybe because you really, when we intentionally hurt others, it's because we're hurting. Like that saying, hurt people hurt people. We have the Magician. Archangel Raziel is here to help you transform that energy, any stagnance that might come with it. And then we have life experience, Archangel Chamuel. So the Magician is saying you're ready, you have the resources or the ability to manifest them. Life is magical. And that from 1 to 16, there's definitely a receptivity that's going to happen. It may well be when the sun hits 15 degrees Virgo on the 7th of September. Yeah, the moon will be in your sign of Scorpio. Beautiful. And Mars will be at 1 degrees Cancer. So with Saturn, the moon, and Mars all in water, it feels like there's going to be a big liftoff. We have the 4 of Water. Missing an opportunity, discontentment, or boredom. Open your eyes to the possibilities. I sense that this is what you're retrieving. You guys are reclaiming a part of your soul that did fragment off. It wasn't safe to be you. You had to abide by someone else, someone influential and maybe powerful, who took more than they gave, and you kept giving because you wanted to fill them up, you wanted to complete them, but they were depleting you. And it's time to move on from that. Of course, we got the moon with the 6 of Earth. Maybe you're with a high priestess who you're learning to give your gifts of money, time, or effort to. And this is opening up new career opportunities because you're starting to see how much in alignment they've been. I sense with this moon in Libra into the moon in your sign, 12th house to your own first house of self, identity. That 12th is very easy to get muddled, to be unclear around, but the fruits of this person's labor, whether they're a masculine or a feminine energy, that creative expression will tell you very clearly who this person is and who maybe to start being a little bit more generous with. With the 9 of Fire, we have the Ace of Wands. I love how this is like, I was born to rock and roll. I was born to shine this light, and you're now moving into this energy, Scorpio. It's powerful stuff. It feels like a fiery birth, and you guys really like buckling down and saying, okay, this is the direction that I have to take things into. We're going to kick it up a notch, because you don't have that guilt, that shame, that remorse in your system. Because look, you've let it go. You've shed that skin. And the Magician, Archangel Raziel, will show you how to shed that skin and make a pair of cool boots. And or shed that skin and make it into something important to you. Maybe it can be a resource. It could be something that you bottle up and make into a magic potion. It's up to you, Scorpio. And that's where that Lord's Prayer, the birther of all radiance, we could be filled with creativity so that we may be empowered to bear the fruit of the mission. 10 of Discs with life experience. So maybe you had a vision, maybe you have a vision, and maybe there's a conference coming up, because time to spread your wings, a powerful revelation that leads to change, a significant life event. While Archangel Chamuel's in the garden looking around at all this abundance, it feels like you are manifesting some vision that you could have only hoped for when you were like a kid. We have Mercury in your 10th house of career, so it might be that you're learning to communicate some of the most valuable and potent truths that you've ever been able to experience. They're now available for download and streaming, Scorpio. And it feels like this is going to be something that, with Pluto coming back into your third house, you can now share with the world in a new way that is a lot more sexy than it was when you first came up with the idea. The Daughter of Swords with the Four of Water. She's calling in an energy. So it feels like for whatever it is that you felt you lost, that 3 cups you gathered with your friends, and that 4th cup didn't really emotionally fulfill you. It feels like the Daughter of Swords is saying, have no fear, I'm an alchemist, I'm a magician. I could turn that 4th cup into a possibility, into an option, an opportunity. Kali with another card to clarify the direction this week is taking. Chiron and Saturn. Chiron moves to 22 degrees Aries, and that is your 6th house of daily life. We have the North Node in your daily life. So as long as you're taking care of yourself in your daily life, we're in the season of the 6th house, you're going to start to grow and generate a lot of an influx of stability, maybe even friends, maybe even community that you hadn't had before. And Mercury will re-enter Virgo on the 8th. So Sunday the 8th, we'll see Mercury go back into your 11th house. And until then, the sun is glowing there. So you might be planning trips to visit people. You might be planning for this conference or some form of a gathering where everyone's coming with their best and brightest ideas on maybe technology, AI, as your 11th house is Virgo, which is like traditionally ruled by Mercury with traditional astrology. Artha of Kali, 36. So I gotta read that one. Her heart contains the seeds of your soul and complete awareness of the divine destiny she has always intended for you. There is a sacred purpose for which you were born and a meaningful, divinely protected pathway for you to fulfill it. Only you can decide to put your faith and commitment into that path and to take one step at a time in honoring what has value to your heart, tuning into her loving plan and taking those steps. The pathway will reveal itself and you shall attract great blessings that will benefit all beings. I truly feel this for you all, Scorpio. Like, the moon is going to go through your sign. We have that new moon on the 2nd of September, which I'm starting a 10-day miracle manifestation course. I'll just be going live daily. We'll do a little bit of daily astrology. We'll get into maybe a little sound bath to set us up. And we will go through what happens typically when you start to manifest something. I did the 10-day miracle maker on my own, and steps have manifested for me to take come Pisces season, 6 months, 6 to 8 months, maybe around Taurus season. We will see the intentions sown on this new moon be very real physically in our lives. So it's all about getting into alignment in the season of the 6th house as to what actions we could take daily to shine that light, to accept and receive the energy of this fiery birth. That's what I wanted to look at, was the Ace of Wands. The birth of new energy. I am a celebration of life. So there is a dance of celebrating life, of not giving up, protecting that which you've created, having courage and believing in yourself. I sense that your belief in yourself, as well as the forgiveness that you have for the actions that you may have taken to hurt others, will absolutely be returned. And just as we do unto others, so is done unto us. So it's very valuable to start seeding actions with a lot of this ability to transform the intention, transform the vibration. When you feel it coming out of you and it's not loving, shift it, do that pivot with intention, and understand that you're going to bless a lot of people with what comes through. Scorpio, have an amazing week. For those of you all new here, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell so that you're notified when I go live with more readings for Scorpio. And until next time, thank you to my subscribers for being here. Aloha.